Welcome back to another episode of The Canon. Today is a movie review of Avengers 2. Captain America: Civil War. So me and Sal have seen it. Hopefully most of you have seen it. If not, spoiler alerts will go. We will tell you everything that happened in the movie. So pause it, go watch it, then come back. All right. Let's start off with overall impressions.
Okay. So me first. All right. I liked it a lot. I thought, as a lot of people did, I think that it's probably the best Marvel movie yet to date. Second to Avengers or Winter Soldier, whoever you talk to. I don't know. I liked it. It was entertaining the whole time. I don't know what else to say about it without giving too many details right now. So, what were your overall?
Same here. Love it. I love it.
You loved it?
I loved it. Yeah. I thought it was great. Amazing.
I liked it as a movie, just a movie overall. I liked it a lot. I liked the directing, the editing, even the details. Just like when they were introducing what cities they were in every time with that text was very basic, but it added so much more to it for some reason. It made it feel like it made it feel like not a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
The overall everything with it.
I feel like a 5-year-old could have put that edit in. But no, I liked it though. It's just like, why don't more people think of that is my question. But anyway, so let's talk about the experience of the day.
Yeah.
So I'll start first. With BVS, Batman vs Superman. When we were talking about that, I think Deadpool was much less of an event. But Batman vs Superman, we were speculating what it would feel like and look like. And it came way under what I thought. And I said, like, usually I have grand visions and it never comes out like that. This one, on the other hand, was a little different. The Marvel fanboys were in full force. So, I don't know if I I did. I texted you this, but, like, I was sitting in my car because I got my ticket. I, like, went in, printed it out. And then I was waiting because usually they wait 30 minutes before it starts to open the doors. So I was like, okay, I'm sitting here waiting. And then I'm like, man, I'm checking to make sure if there's a line. There's no line. But I'm seeing a bunch of people with like Marvel stuff walking in. I'm like, I need to go see what's going on. Come to find out, theater's been open this whole entire time. So it's like 60% full at that point. I still got a good seat in my opinion, but I was like, dude, seriously?
Yeah.
But by the time it started, people coming in like 5 minutes before. It's your fault. You made us late. I'm like, yeah, get to the front. Like, what else did you think?
This was Thursday night, right?
Yeah, this is Thursday night. This is prime time. What did you think? You were just going to stroll in here and get a good seat? But, yeah. It was annoying. Honestly, I know in the expectations I asked you, like, do you feel like it enhances your experience being with a crowd? And for me, it doesn't. I like being like mostly alone, to be honest. Watching movies now. But because for me, I don't really need the crowd to tell me when to be excited. But this was like worst case scenario. These people cheered for everybody. For Spider-Man and Black Panther, I get they're new, but they were clapping Ant-Man, Black Widow, Captain America. Like, it's a Captain America movie. You knew he was gonna be in it. So it was nuts. It was definitely a buzz. It was energy. It's probably what big event people like. For me, that's not my taste, but yeah, they were in full force.
Yeah. I had a little bit different experience. I went on Mother's Day at 3:00.
Nice.
It was pretty full when I got there, but we got good seats. And but what I did call out was there were a lot of kids.
Yeah.
A lot of kids. I don't know about you on Thursday. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot when I went Thursday.
Yeah, and I could chalk it up to being Mother's Day too. But there were so many kids there, and one in particular was behind me, like right behind me. I got touched in the head a few times because he was like young. He was like looked like 3 or 4 years old, and his parents, controlled him mostly. But even so, in the beginning, he was a little jumpy, and then towards that way at the end, because it was 2.5 hours.
He popped them and he settled down.
But yeah, so there were a lot of kids, and during the cutscenes, a lot of people left after this first one. So,
Yeah, I heard that.
So there was a lot of room to run around. So the kids that were sitting there for 2.5 hours were running up and down, and so that kind of got a little annoying. But yeah, so the crowd was 100% different than BVS or Deadpool.
Yeah.
Again, it could be because of the day I went, but it did make for a different experience. But they did clap. Everyone clapped at the end of the movie, which I don't know the last time that happened to me. I'm trying to think. I could probably recall if I really thought about it, but it wasn't a superhero movie. I don't think. So yeah, but rightfully so. I think it deserved a clap for the most part. But
that's weird. My super fan crowd didn't clap at the end. Some guy tried to start a slow clap. He's actually in front of me, and no, people were leaving. Yeah. No one really left for the cutscenes, but I heard that two other people I talked to, like people just left before the second one.
Yeah.
So maybe they didn't know. But you always stay. That's rule number one. You always stay.
Even DC, I'll stay.
Till the screen goes blank, you do not leave. But actually, speaking about the person sitting behind me, and I'm not trying to make this like a bad thing. This is just a fact. He slept through the whole movie.
What?
The dude behind, not the whole movie. He slept 90% of the movie.
Was he like a dad or something?
I didn't want to turn around and look. I didn't want to miss anything. B, I didn't want to be like.
It's a little much to turn around the whole way.
Yeah, I didn't want to make him feel like I'm like, dude, what the hell? Like, I don't care. You paid the money. You want to sleep. You want to sleep. But he was like snoring, knocked out, like.
I would wake him up and be like, get the hell out of there.
I was just like, wow. But I'll touch on that later. So yeah. So let's talk. What were some of the best parts of the movie to you? Not necessarily scenes, but just parts.
Just overall, kind of. Well, especially just like I said before, the direction and the tone of the movie. They did say it was going to be a little bit darker, and I think for Marvel, it was perfectly dark. There were dark scenes in there, dark instances in there. But yeah, I liked it. Captain America, him going dark is kind of cool to see because he's Captain America. So, you don't really get that from his character naturally. But I think the Russos did a great job with what they said they were going to do. So that was pretty cool to see. Overall, the movie, what else? I don't know. I don't want to go too specific again. We can talk about that in a little bit. What about you?
I think a lot of just kind of the filming techniques, like you said. I mean, not necessarily the editing, but the way the action was shot was great.
There's a lot of POV stuff. Like the handheld, just like, so it was really cool. Yeah,
shaky cam. Yeah, I was kind of. I mean, I went into it for the action, and I definitely think they delivered on that. I like the twist at the end. I like that. Mm-hmm. And kind of tying a bow on what the whole movie actually was compared to what you thought it was.
Yeah. A little late though. A little much. I mean, it was a good twist. It was a great twist.
I liked it. I liked it.
Okay.
I liked it. Yeah, I mean, really, that's about it. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm not saying it's the only good parts, but those were like really stand out to me. I think the story I have some issues with. Although I do like kind of how they fleshed it out, I still think there's holes in it. But
I thought they did just overall. They did a great part, like you said, fleshing out the undertones of what Civil War is supposed to be. It's obviously a Civil War, but they didn't rush into it. It wasn't like the whole movie was, Iron versus Cap. It was kind of like slowly, gradually getting to that point, and at the end. That climactic moment where you find out what really happened in that video kind of set everything else off for the finale. So I liked it, and I thought it was really well paced. So
yeah. Well, okay.
Well,
no, but we'll get to that later. So before we get into kind of our negatives or whatever, let's talk about the scene. I think we can have a whole section for this. Let's talk about the airport scene, shall we? I don't know. I don't even know where to start.
Let's go when they're in the parking garage.
Well, yeah. Okay, so we could go. Actually, yeah, that's a good point. So this kind of spins right from the recruitment right into the fight. So like
Yeah.
Ant-Man was there for like 10 minutes before
Which
he had the
I
fight.
I had a problem with that. Now that I think back on it, it's like that was kind of forced. I feel like I liked it. He was funny. He was probably one of the funniest parts in the whole movie. But it's just that's fanfare right there. You're just kind of
Yeah.
giving us, I don't want to say giving us what we want because it was cool to see. But it's like in the overall story, like you didn't need him. You didn't even need Spider-Man to be honest.
Yeah.
It felt very out of place.
Before we go there, all valid.
Okay.
What's your favorite part of the airport scene?
Holy shit! When he gets big.
Oh, it's Spider-Man.
I lost it right there. That was definitely the best part. And it was funny because it's weirdly enough, they didn't have any comedy for the most part throughout the whole movie until the airport scene, and then they had a lot of comedy. But it was all good. But yeah, that was my favorite part of the airport scene by far. What about you?
Man, that's tough. I'm trying to think my favorite part. I mean, maybe when Ant-Man went giant, man. That was pretty.
For some reason, I knew it kind of was coming.
Me too.
But then,
in
like
this movie
throughout like that moment, I was like, "What is he doing? What is he doing?" And then I realized.
Yeah, I knew exactly what was happening, and I I was just waiting for it, and then yeah, of course the crowd lost it. But yeah, the whole everything that ensued after that, like the comedy with Vision going through him. Oh, someone went through.
Yeah.
Then of course Spider-Man with the Star Wars reference, which
That was
just
good.
broke everyone's mind in half.
The only part I thought it was coming, and I'm pretty sure this is in the movie. I'm not making this up. When he keeps saying one more pass, one more. Remember when they're going around? I thought he was gonna say that. He didn't, but it was still good.
Yeah, I was like, man. I was like, dude, they're gonna get sued. And I was right in that same second, I was like, Disney owns Star Wars. That was crazy. I don't know why, but for a second, I was just start thinking of Star Wars Marvel crossovers.
Oh my god!
I was like, no, that can happen. But anyway, yeah. So like all that was funny. And then of course, Tony's just like, if anyone's on our team,
has any special secret powers, right now is the time to.
Yeah. So that crap, that was funny. Do you have any problems with the airport scene? Do you think that's before you go there, do you think that's the greatest action scene we've seen? Is that what the stuff superhero movies are made of right there?
Well, I remember we were talking and you were saying how you wished when they actually run towards each other it wasn't real. But when they actually came to head and they all started fighting, that was when the moment I was like, oh, this is awesome. Like it was a comic book.
Yeah.
For that, 20, not 20 minutes, like 10 minutes or whatever it was. I think that was the coolest part of pretty much the whole movie for me at least. And so yeah, I don't think it was overdone. You're gonna have that in Marvel movies. You're gonna have that big climactic fight battle that destroys everything, even though the airport was not didn't have any civilians in it.
Of course, they had to pick an empty place.
Plot device right there, but yeah. So I liked it. I don't think anything too bad about it. Besides, Ant-Man and Spider-Man probably didn't have to be there. But
okay. All right. So movies are film, art. All art is subjective, and with that said, there are some negatives, I'm sure, for everybody. Mm-hmm. So, anything that sticks out for you?
Maybe I have to kind of watch it more, but I don't think Zemo had to be in that. To be honest, he was the catalyst for. He was a good character, I thought. Didn't have any special powers. I think he's gonna come back, and he's gonna have his superpowers. But anyways, I mean, he was the catalyst for, turning the Avengers against each other, or at least Cap and Iron Man at the end. But if you kind of think about it in the big picture, maybe they could have used a different motive for them, really not liking each other for some reason, like Rhodey dying. Or something like that.
Should have went with my idea.
Yeah. So I don't know that he had to be in there unless he's gonna come back and somehow tie the loose ends together, whatever loose ends there may be. So that's kind of one just overall. I don't know. So you can say. So I have my notes here, but you can say what you want to look over.
One thing for me is I felt the CGI was really on the par.
Really?
And yeah, like I said that during the trailers. I was like, man, Spider-Man looks kind of crappy.
Yeah, his whole suit was.
I mean, like the first time they showed him, I didn't have a problem, but when they showed him like moving, like we saw the scene afterwards, and I was like, ugh, that doesn't. I was like, I hope it doesn't look like that in the movie, and it did. And yeah, and then whenever Tony had his helmet off, it looked crappy. Like it looked so crappy.
So just the face off, you mean? Or every,
like when he had the helmet off with the rest of the suit. I'm like, that looks so like just bad CGI. Like you can definitely tell it's CGI.
Well, he has a whole bodysuit on, and with the dots.
Yeah, but I'm just like, for Marvel, for as long as you've been doing it, and for the money you got, like, why does this look like that? Like, it looked like the floating head type thing. Him and Rhodey, I was just like, oh, okay. So I had an issue with that. And then, like, some of the fight scenes, especially early on, like when Cap hits people and they like kind of fly back, I understand he's strong. But like when other people were doing it and they were kind of just like bouncing off of them, it looked kind of like a video game or something. Yeah. Like all the up close hand to hand combat was good, but like when Falcon was flying to kick someone or something, they just fly. I was like, what the?
And can we talk about Cap probably killing people with how hard he hits them with his shield and that freaking head?
But Cap doesn't have no kill. He's a soldier.
I know,
he
but
doesn't
man,
have no kill.
The vibranium shield to the neck. I don't care where you hit him.
He doesn't care.
No, he doesn't kill him. He doesn't.
Yeah, he does. He's a soldier.
But he was worried about Bucky killing people. He said, "You're gonna kill people."
Well, because Bucky they thought was a killer, and if he started killing them,
so is Cap killing these guys then?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah. He's a soldier.
I know. But...
You seen the first one? He had guns.
Oh, I thought he had a problem with killing.
I don't ever think he had a problem with killing commies.
I thought he did. Well, when he said that to Bucky, I thought that's what it was.
No, it's more so Bucky doesn't incriminate himself.
Dark side, basically, kind of.
Well, at least the perception of him, I think. Yeah, I don't think Cap ever had a no-kill rule. So, I mean, I didn't have an issue with that. But yeah, the CGI was kind of... And then the story plot holes were there. They were definitely there. But, I don't know. It's tough.
Yeah, just kind of overall, again, I didn't feel like there were any stakes in this movie.
Oh, well, yeah, I've been talking about that.
I know we always said, and it's the same with BVS, you know, they're going to come together anyways, that's fine. But even after the airport scene, you had this other teams helping out each other.
That was a scrimmage, right? It wasn't a war. Yeah, I mean, that probably is the biggest problem. It was so, not mismarketed, it was so what's the word I'm looking for? Deceiving. Yeah, misleading and deceiving. Because, I said all along, we talked about the stakes. There's no way it could be actually high. Because we know what's coming down the road. Not to mention, that's just not the way Marvel does their movies. And so I was going on a limb saying Rhodey was going to die and Bucky was going to die. I was hoping they'd do that. They didn't. So, which made it completely no stakes. Yeah. And then, yeah, it was a civil misunderstanding is what it was. And so,
that's what they should rename it, civil misunderstanding.
Yeah, because the airport scene was a scrimmage. Like, I like that they brought the comedy in, because like you said, most of the movie is not the typical Marvel movie with comedy and stuff. Mm-hmm. So I like that they brought that in to make it more Marvel-ish and make the scene like a grand superhero scene, which you need kind of that lightheartedness, but it completely erased all the emotion from it. Yeah, like you said, like we saw people like laughing with each other, or Black Widow and Hawkeye. Mm-hmm. Spider-Man's making every joke in the book. It's just like Vision's like, oh, I'm sorry, Scarlet Witch. Like, I'm like, come on, man. It was great to see, but it's like as far as the movie, that just killed it.
And I didn't expect it to be like the source material where these guys actually don't like each other. Mm-hmm. I didn't expect that, but and it's hard. It was hard to do, but they did a good job with the movie overall, so I give them that credit. I
feel like a lot of people had like issues, but they're like, oh, I'll give it a pass because everything else was so well done. And I understand that. I think that airport scene in general, just how amazing and how new, fresh it was, that people were just like, yeah, screw the rest of the issues. But at the end, I liked the Zemo twist. I liked it because I'm all about the creative points. So I give them creative points for not going with the typical. Here's some more big bad guys.
Oh yeah,
you guys got.
I liked him as a character.
I mean, I thought I was kind of like, okay, they're all gonna somehow team up, and they're gonna fight these super soldiers, or it's just gonna be Iron Man, Cap, Bucky, and Black Panther, or whatever. Then I'm like, okay, we'll get a cool fight, but then to just leave, which I thought those were cool characters, the way they set them up, like probably stronger than Bucky, in a group. And then to just kill them off and then just go with that, I was like, that took guts.
Yeah, it was a twist, but I have to disagree. Well, they could have been cool in theory, but if they actually used that as the end of the movie, I would have hated the movie. It would have gone down a few rungs in my book, because that would have been.
But you also didn't like the Zemo twist.
No, I like the twist. I'm just saying maybe he didn't.
Late.
No, I was just saying he maybe didn't have to be there. Somehow they could use some other.
Left the video there, or
they could have left the video there, or maybe there didn't have to be a video. There could have been some other catalyst for, like I said, Rhodey could have been the catalyst for why Iron Man.
Oh yeah. So you're talking about not having the video at all?
Yeah. But I still liked it, and it's weird to kind of explain, but yeah, I wouldn't have liked if they had to team up to fight the super soldiers. I'd been like, man, that just ruined it for me.
I understand, but I think leaving out that, because after the airport scene, I was like, that was crazy cool, but we need more. I need more action.
Yeah.
You can't just leave me with that. And so ending off with this quasi Iron Man versus Cap versus Bucky fight, I was so underwhelmed with that fight. Like, I just didn't think it was that great.
During the middle of it, I was like, oh crap, is Tony gonna die? Like, I was like, I should have said something before we watched this, because I thought something was gonna happen to him. I thought that was.
You remember he signs on for Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. The stakes aren't there. That's why I was like, okay. But that part made me wish they went with the super soldier thing, because I feel like that fight would have been cool. Like, once I saw Black Panther kind of heard, the misunderstanding, I was like, oh man, they all gonna team up and fight these soldiers. But then, so I don't know. It's tough. I give them creative points, but that last action fight, I felt no stake, because it wasn't Iron Man versus Cap. It was just Iron Man versus Bucky and Cap standing in the way. So that's all it really.
He went in on Tony. He went pretty hard, so that was pretty cool to see. One thing I wanted to address, and I think it's going to be big in the movie unless if I missaw what I saw, when Vision missed, when he missed and hit Rhodes, or Rhodey, did they explain why he got distracted? They didn't, right? It wasn't Scarlet Witch, she was on the ground or something. He didn't.
I think that's what he meant, 'cause he was talking to her, and then they was like, hey, I need help or whatever. But he wasn't distracted. I don't think he was.
Yeah, I don't know. But I think it had something to do with the Mind Stone or some other force, as in Thanos. I don't know. I feel like they never really went back to that and asked anything about it. So I don't know if there is some other underlying thing that we didn't see and it might come to fruition later. I don't know. Maybe Vision will go on to Thanos' side, because Thanos can control him or something.
Well, we saw that Scarlet Witch pretty much can control him too through the Mind Gem. At least that's what I saw. Like, when she was. First of all, I don't like the route that Elizabeth Olsen went with her powers. Like, it's always.
Oh yeah, I like it.
I'm like, what
else
are you
does she want to do,
doing?
though?
I don't know. Like, why do you have to ball it up? Like, why can't you just, I don't know. But anyway, once she started doing that, the first thing to light up red was the Mind Stone. So it was like, that's how she, like, controlled him and everything, or, like, at least disabled him. So I think that definitely will play into the later thing. But yeah, I don't think he was distracted. I mean, it would have hit him. It would have hit Falcon if he didn't duck. So it's not like it was a
I don't know.
Missed target.
That always stuck in my mind.
Yeah. So, what did you think of the new characters, Spider-Man and Black Panther?
Liked them. I loved them both.
How they were introduced and all that.
Yeah, I liked them both a lot. I didn't know Spider-Man was gonna get his big scene in Queens. I didn't know that was gonna happen.
Oh, you didn't know that was coming?
No, not really. I didn't really think about how he would get introduced to Tony. But that was a good scene. Him and Aunt May, Marissa Tomei, that was good. It's weird that Spider-Man calls her May now instead of Aunt. Did you catch that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a little weird because it's always Aunt May. And I don't disbelieve that she could be young either. Like that's not a huge factor for me or a big problem for me. But I liked him. He acted like a kid, like a high school kid, and his wit was there. It was written well, and he delivered it really well. So that was really cool. I like that they had his homemade suit too. It's from Ultimate Spider-Man. And so that was a little ode to that. And yeah, I loved him. And Black Panther, same thing. I thought he did really well with what they gave him, and he actually played a really prominent part in the whole movie. You thought he was going to be, I thought he was going to be maybe a smaller role, but he was number 3, I think, in line pretty much. It was Cap, Iron, or number 4, then Bucky, and then T'Challa. So, what about you?
Yeah.
I know you're really excited for Black Panther.
Yeah, I was. Spider-Man, I loved everything about it. I didn't I wasn't on the Tom Holland train. Like, yeah, let's do it. But I wasn't against it. Like a lot of people just like, no. And then I heard a lot of people leaving out. That's the best Spider-Man we've got. Finally, we got a good Spider. I was like,
you had you had 2 great Spider-Man.
Yeah, and you had 20 minutes of it in the movie, but. So people love him, that's good. I always thought he brought the actual youth to not just the perceived youth like the other two, even though they were good. Well, no, Toby was good. I didn't like Andrew, but
I thought he was good.
But he's actually feels like a teenager, so that was cool. And Black Panther. Black Panther was the best part of this movie, man. Yeah. Chadwick Boseman, oh my God, that's his role. I've seen him play James Brown, Jackie Robinson. And T'Challa is the most prominent person he's gonna play. And it's so funny with some of these small characters. People, I never thought this would work, or I don't think you'll ever see this. And I'm like, what is not cool about a king that has all these resources, a whole country,
and is a superhero,
and is like a warrior, like he's smart, everything, and then you saw the part where he fought Bucky when Bucky was mind control without his suit. He fought him and beat him pretty much. Chadwick Boseman was so good.
Yeah,
his presence was so good. The suit looked amazing, and I just cannot wait to see the whole Wakanda thing that they tease. So love those two. Man, I don't know what else is there to say. I mean, to me, I felt like we'll get to this point. We'll say, are we? Which team are we on, basically? But to me, I feel like there was no team.
It's a hurry result, though.
Yeah, it's Cap was right.
I'll always be here when you need me.
Cap was right. I don't even think there's a team Iron Man after that.
Well, it's. I think it would have been better and had more stakes had they decided they were doing this first, and Infinity Wars would have somehow been farther down the line. Because what's in between this and it's Doctor Strange and Thor. And then Infinity War, or whatever they're going to call it. So I think that's the problem. They kind of handcuff themselves because they have no more story with these characters, at least, to move forward before Infinity War, which, you could use half of Infinity War to kind of still have them be separated a little bit, which I think that's how they're going to go. But even so, if Infinity Wars would have been farther down the line, and this would have been earlier somehow, that I thought it would have been more stakes, higher stakes, better film, better story. It was fine film, but
yeah, I like the film, but it's just as far as what you played up, the war and the pro-government, anti-government thing, it was pretty obvious that Tony and them was wrong. I think the truth is somewhere in the middle of a Sokovia Accords, but you knew when you saw General Ross, who we saw last in the Hulk. He was bad news. Yeah. So then by the end, Tony gets to the point he was like, oh, he doesn't know I'm here because if he did, I have to arrest myself. And And I'm just like, well, that's it right there. You were wrong. You
Yeah.
know, like, this government thing is dumb because now you're talking about every time they do something you don't like, they're arrested. Like, you got all these guys that you fought with sitting in jail cells, and it was just like, okay, there's no disagreement anymore.
Mm-hmm.
We cannot be regulated by the government. They're basically not, they're not like, okay, we're going to tell you where to go and when to go. It's more like we're just looking for reasons to put you away. So I don't even think we can ask that question. It's team cap all day.
I don't have an Iron Man shirt.
It was team cap all day. So, but I actually probably should have looked at what we guessed we would rate the movie. I forgot.
Oh.
I think I said
I think I said a 9.
I feel like I said a 9.5.
Yeah.
That's back when I was on the hype train. All right, so what's your rating now?
My unbiased, unadulterated rating. I have to give it a 10. I think.
What?
Yeah. As a movie, the only thing I see wrong with it, which could be big, I guess, but I think it'd be unfair of me not to get, because I did enjoy it a lot. And as a film, I can give it a 10. But the only thing I had wrong with it was just the stakes. But that is, I think that's an outside, that's a problem from the outside with the timeline of the movies, like I just explained. So had they not had those factors, I think it would have been a 10 for sure. But I'm still gonna give it a 10 because it was a great film.
Okay. My mind is blown. As a comic book film, I'm gonna give it a 9.5.
Okay.
I still think Deadpool was the best, like, comic book on screen. Like, if you just put it in those terms, that's Deadpool. I knocked BVS down a little bit, just because they went away from the essence of the characters. Like, as a movie itself, I give creative points for that, but as a comic book movie, I take away points when you get away from the essence. Like, telling different iteration, I think, can be done well and it's cool, but as I look at it as a comic book movie, staying faithful to the character is most important, which I think Deadpool showed us. So if I knock BVS down, I gotta knock this one down to a 9.5 as a comic book movie.
Okay.
As an actual movie, I give it an 8.5.
Okay.
It was a 9, but, like, if we would have shot this, like, right after we saw it, probably would have been real high. But as I talk more and think more about it, just the plot holes really bother me. Like, I think there was lost opportunity there. And just like you said, at the end of the day, the stakes didn't weigh out. Like, really, when you think about, as great as the airport scene was, like you said, why was half of them even there?
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, you may disagree on the ideologies, but it wasn't to the point where you're going to fight people you fought with.
Because I told you.
Yeah, just because.
Go with me.
Like, you fought, and that was my thing going into it from all these years. When they announced Civil War, I'm like, you fought an alien invasion. You fought a robot trying to destroy the world. But then one person says pro-government, anti-government. You're like, well, I'm going to fight you now. Like, what? You just forget all that? So that was an issue for me. And then really, at the end of the day, the Sokovia Accords don't matter. Like, they were like Thor and Hulk. He was basically calling them nuclear weapons. And I was like, okay, let's look at it that way. Say they come back and they're not anti-government. What are you going to do to them?
Yeah.
Or if they're not pro-government, what are you going to do to them? So it doesn't matter if the whole Avengers signed that thing. If Hulk and Thor come back and they're not with it, what are you gonna do?
Well, now I'm thinking, what are the motivations for the government going forward? Is the government even gonna be in these stories anymore? Are they gonna be?
I think so. I think this just escalates their need to control them, which is fine. But just as the Civil War, this is like the only one I believe that would had a stake in, like, fighting was Rhodey, because he's just so blind pro-government that he's like, no, you guys need to be arrested. Everybody else, if T'Challa's dad didn't die, he wouldn't have cared. Like, Hawkeye basically said he came there as a favor to Scarlet Witch. Scarlet Witch really only did it because they tried to imprison her.
Yeah.
If they didn't do that, she probably wouldn't care or did anything. Vision, I don't get. Like, So yes, I have to go.
So their motivations were not there for you for the most part.
Not At the end of the, I mean, when you make it a Zemo plot, at the end of the day, like a lot of those motivations fall apart because it wasn't really anything about government. It was more about a ploy between those two. But anyway, so yeah, and then the added in. So this is what I said with BVS. A lot of people said it jumped around. I said this on our review that I felt like if you did traditional editing with a movie that dense, it would have felt long. And so jumping around kept the pace good. For Civil War, they went straight traditional. Like, we're going to sit on this scene for 20 minutes. All right, now we're here. We're going to sit on this scene. The movie felt long to me. It felt way longer than BVS.
Yeah.
And
I
thought
it was coming up in 3 hours, and it was 2.5.
Yeah. It felt long. And besides the guy behind me falling asleep, it just felt long to me. Like, if you're not about the emotional and, dialogue parts of the movie, then it can get slow at points because there's not the amount of action the other movies have or the amount of comedy. So it just felt long because the editing was so traditional. Like, we're going to sit here and talk. Then we're going to go to the next. Like, it was one long string where BVS was like, okay, we're here. And, like we talked about it. And I thought that kept me more in the movie. Because when I watched BVS both times, I'm like, oh, we're already to this part?
Yeah.
And so... yeah, the editing and then the motivations, I have to take it down to an 8.5. But as a common movie, 9.5. When I don't have to think about all those cinematic things, like, oh my god, that movie was great.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right, so that is our Civil War review. I don't know, my mind hurts.
Oh, one more thing too. I thought Crossbones was going to be a way bigger part in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
And all of a sudden he dies 5 minutes into the damn thing.
He did.
Marvel
loves killing villains.
Yeah, but not their heroes, obviously.
Brody should have died, man. I was so pissed.
How did he not die
he
from
didn't
that?
Die.
When I heard them say, "Oh, he's got a pulse,"
I was like, "No, kill him!"
I emotionally and mentally put my face in my hands.
And then, okay, so I'm sorry. Now
I'm taking it down to a 7.
We're moving on, but one part I thought was funny, but just stupid. Like when Rhodey hits the ground, Iron Man's holding him. Falcon comes down after trying to catch him. He comes down and he's like, "Oh, is he all right?" Well, Tony just shoots him, like he's pissed.
Yeah.
I'm like, so Falcon was supposed to just stay there and get hit and die himself. Like, why didn't you take the hit? Like, that was stupid. What are you mad about? Of course he saved himself. So, yeah, my phone's going off. We're ranting. But yeah, so that has been our review. Again, if you like what you heard and you want to see more, give us the ammo by clicking the subscribe button below. So how can people find us?
On Twitter @TheCannonBlog or on Facebook, facebook.com/TheCannon.
And remember, if you heard it here, it's canon.
Kevin Smith, I don't know if you heard, he said it was the best superhero movie he's ever seen.
I heard a few people say it. Well, I heard a few people say it's like right under Avengers.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, it's the third Avengers. I don't care what you say.
Yeah, it's 2.5.